Okay everyone, welcome to 1.93 News with Bacon, where today we are looking at our first devblog for the next major War Thunder update, which is based on the Ka-50 Black Shark, a brand new Russian helicopter that's going to be taking up the slot of a Tier 6 premium vehicle. And I am pretty hyped for this. This is one of my favourite helicopters, mostly down to the sort of more unique design featuring a contra-rotating rotor system and removing the tail rotor. Obviously makes it a bit more aerodynamic, and there's generally just less stuff to worry about. Now, one thing I want to note straight away is that watching through this video, there is a clip on the Devblog video where it shoots down an enemy helicopter, and I'm thinking to myself, that looks kind of weird, doesn't look like a heli I recognise. I then realise it as a T-tail, which of course just means that the tail is on top of the rudder, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, it looks like an Apache with a T-tail. Looks like the Americans are also getting the YAH-64, which was the Apache prototype, and early versions of that did experiment with a T-tail design, so it looks like the Americans are getting the Apache prototype as their premium. Back to the Ka-50 though, this of course is a Russian attack helicopter. Let's quickly go through the pros and the cons that Gaijin have listed and just see what we think of those. First off, excellent flight characteristics. Of course, getting rid of the tail rotor and having just the contra-rotating main rotor system does simplify some of the aerodynamics in to some degree. This allows it to have a top speed of just over 300 kilometers per hour. And that's not too bad, and Gaijin do state that it has good handling characteristics and maneuverability, and, you know, I'm not going to comment on that. Of course, we've not had a go to try it in-game, so we will have to wait to see just how true that is when we get a dev server or the live release of this helicopter. It's also said that this has an armoured cockpit and some internal nodes. Not sure exactly what they are referencing when they say internal nodes. Do drop a comment below if you know exactly what they mean, but as far as armoured cockpit goes, well, it's a Russian attack helicopter, it's going to have some decent armour, although of course in War Thunder helicopters do not always have a accurate representation of their real-life armour. For example, the Mi-24s, they've had a lot of issues. Supposed to be a heavily armoured helicopter, and in some cases a 30 cal bullet can make the whole back of the heli fall off, so we're going to have to wait and see again just how true that is. We're just going to have to wait and see until we can actually play the heli to find out if it is actually that well armoured. The final pro is ATGMs, AAMs, and even bombs. As you would expect for a Russian helicopter, you got a lot of weapons. This can carry up to 2,300 kilograms of ordnance. It's quite a decent amount there, and it is still actually a fairly small helicopter. Firstly, not mentioned in that pro, but it does have a gun, a 30mm side-mounted cannon. Being side-mounted does mean that it does not have a full 360-degree firing arc, but then again, some other helicopters in-game, like the Gazelle F variant, have a fixed gun, fully fixed, does not move at all, and that isn't too much of a problem. As far as I can tell, this gun does traverse just on a fairly small degree, but that is still fairly useful for close-range engagements. In terms of other weapons, you do have, of course, ATGMs. You have some pretty powerful ATGMs, in fact. These are the Vikir ATGM, and apparently these, you can take 12 of them into battle, and they're new generation ATGMs, and apparently they can take out state-of-the-art tanks, even fitted with ERA, from a distance of up to 10,000 meters. Yeah, this is about twice the range, just over twice the range of the missiles on the Eurocopter Tiger, the Hot 3. Yeah, this is pretty deadly. This is a premium helicopter, remember, so I am waiting for people to call out, oh, it's pay to win, all that kind of stuff, because that will be said. This is 10,000 meter distance ATGMs that are not only fast, but have very high penetration, and you can carry 12 of them. Aside from that, you do also have the Ilga-1V air-to-air missile. We already have Ilgas now that were added last update on the Mi-35, and they're fairly effective air-to-air missiles. And then you can also mount 23mm cannon pods. As far as I can tell, you can mount 4 of these pods, and each of them carry 2 23mm cannons, so that is an additional 8 guns, an additional 8 23mm cannons in addition to your 30mm, so this is quite a lot of armament. Of course, you can also carry bombs. I believe there's 500 kilogram bombs and 250 kilogram bombs, the same ones that we have seen on the Mi-24s, and then I believe they're the SO-80, or is it the S8K? I can't exactly remember, but it's the rocket pods that we've seen on the Mi-24P. They are also on this helicopter, and you can see them mounted on some of the pylons in a few of these pictures. So, a lot of payload here, a lot of good stuff. So, is it going to be good or not? Well, one thing I do want to mention, From a sort of visual perspective, the exterior design, it's a very nice heli. The black paint scheme I love. And another thing worth mentioning is that it does have a pre-order paint scheme. Yeah, okay, so it's sort of sand and green. It's sort of a desert camouflage color. Quite nice looking, and this is a pre-order camouflage, which I believe represents aircraft number 22 of the 344th Center for Combat Training and Aircrew Conversion. Effectively, it's a training airframe for training new crews. Single seat, of course, but that's a nice paint scheme pre-order, so you won't just be stuck with the black paint scheme. It is worth mentioning that, of course, this is the Tier 6 Premium. Seems likely that Russia will also be getting a Tier 7 heli this update. What might they get? Well, my bets are currently on either the Ka-52, which is a tandem seat variant of the Ka-50, or the Mi-28, of which has had many variants over many years, so we will have to wait and see which one of those we get. As far as buying this helicopter for anyone interested, there's two options. There's a bundle pack with 30% off, which is the T55 AM1 and the Black Shark, which will cost you 77 euros, but if you already own the T55, it will cost you 35 euros just to get the Black Shark, which is actually about 15 euros off of the normal price, give or take a few pennies. But you can also get the single pack itself, which is of course the standard pre-order Black Shark pack. You get the helicopter itself, Tier 6 Premium, 2000 GE, 15 days of premium account, and then some pre-order bonuses. Of course, the already mentioned pre-order camouflage, the Black Shark decal, and the Black Shark title. Fairly standard stuff there, apart from the pre-order camo. We don't always get pre-order camos. Occasionally on helis we do, if I remember correctly. The IAR 316 had one when the French Tree was released, but aside from that, I don't believe we've had any others, so it's nice to see another camouflage. As I said previously in the video, you can see what looks to be the YAH-64, the Apache prototype. So at the time of this video, they may have already released a devblog on that, and that will be the American Premium, I would presume, and I would likely guess the Americans will get a Tier 7 Apache, maybe along with the Brits. We will have to wait and see as to how far that goes. Anyway though, thank you very much for watching the video. I am very excited for this. Beautiful looking helicopter, just kind of scary looking, but also very streamlined, and I absolutely love this thing. Let me know what you think of this heli. Of course, the premium helicopter power creep could get pretty bad if the Tech Tree helicopter is not much better than this, and I do fully expect people to be calling out premium sort of being overpowered, pay to win, as that always happens, and to some extent that is the case with this helicopter. But nonetheless, for me personally, as a helicopter fan, it is a very nice thing to see added into the game. Anyway though, thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy, please consider dropping a like, maybe even subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one.